Welcome back, Guardians, to Darby Up. Today I want to show you my Solar Titan build, and is this thing explosive? Let's get right into the build. Alright, since we're running a Solar Titan, of course we are running the SUNBREAKER Titan subclass. Guys, this Titan is extremely strong, he's very tanky, take a high amount of damage and I shall dish that damage out. Super running is Burning Maul. Hey, I like to run around with that flaming hammer and just totally decimate my enemies. I'm running the Towering Barricade, Strafe Lift, Throwing Hammer. Hey guys, the Throwing Hammer is amazing. With this build, how we have it set up, when you throw this hammer, it is a charged melee attack. What this does is it procs cure for you, and also once you hit an enemy and take out an enemy with this hammer, what it does, a sunspot will appear where that enemy was, and this walking in the sunspot will cool down your abilities that much quicker and also begin to heal you with that restoration. And we are all about survivability and getting those abilities back and just spam them. Very nice to have. Grenade I like to run is a fusion grenade. This comes in handy and we'll discuss why here when we get to the exotic of choice in this build. Fusion grenades, if you know, usually when you throw them they kind of have a delayed effect and then they explode. With my particular build and the exotic we're using, these fusion grenades detonate upon impact. Handy in that ad clear. Aspects we're running today are Roaring Flames. Final blows with solar ability or ignitions increase the damage of your solar abilities. Stacks 3 times. Next, we're running Soul Invictus. This shines in the build. Soul Invictus is extremely useful. Solar ability final blows, Hammer of Soul, impacts, and defeating scorched targets creates sunspots. Your abilities regenerate. Right there, your abilities regenerate faster and your super drains more slowly while standing in a sunspot. Sunspots apply Scorch and deal damage to targets in sight. Entering a sunspot applies Restoration. And if you remember, Restoration regenerates your health and your shields over time, and the key here is while in Restoration, the regeneration cannot be interrupted by taking damage. This is amazing, amazing for our survivability. And running these 2 fragment slots gives us 4 fragments. So the fragments today we are running: Ember of Empyrean. Solar weapon or ability final blows extend the duration of restoration and radiant effects applied to you. We get a negative 10 resilience. But how we have our build set up, you barely notice it. Next we're running Ember of Ashes. You apply more Scorched stacks to targets. And then we have Ember of Char. Your solar ignition spreads Scorch to affected targets. Get a +10 discipline. This helps us get our grenades back quicker. And Ember of Torches. Powered melee attacks against combatants make you and your nearby allies radiant. What Radiant does, and once it's proc, is when your weapons are enhanced by the power of the Traveler and deal increased damage to your foes. So what they're saying with this aspect is when you throw that hammer and you take out one of your combatants, you become Radiant, and also that sunspot due to Soul Invictus is going to drop, and if you enter that sunspot and pick your hammer back up, you get a fully charged melee again with the hammer. You begin to cool down all of your abilities, and if you're in a super, hence the Burning Maul, and you stand in one of those sunspots, your super depletes slowly, so you're able to be in super longer and deal out more damage. Let's get right into the weapons I like to use in this build. First off, we're using the new purpose pulse rifle. This particular pulse rifle you get from the Duality Dungeon. And with this, what I like about it is it is a stasis pulse rifle. What I like to run it is Perpetual Motion. This weapon gains bonus stability, handling, reload speed while the wielder is in motion. And the perk that I think sets this particular weapon apart from the others is Headstone. Headstone, precision final blows spawn a stasis crystal at the victim's location. What's nice about this is when you get those precision final blows and that crystal shows up where the combatant fell. These crystals can be shattered instantly with your hammer, and by doing this it creates an area effect damage of targets around that area, and it is extremely nice, especially with crowd control. The origin trait Bitter Spite. While this weapon is equipped, taking damage accelerates its next reload. All this is saying is the more damage you take, the faster you can reload that weapon. Comes in very handy when you are being overwhelmed and let's say all your abilities are on cooldown, you ain't able to use anything, and you need to reload that weapon fast to get back in the fight and hopefully get them off you in time. Bitter Spite will help with that. Next, I like to use my glaive, the Enigma. The Enigma comes in clutch against these yellow bars and higher enemies. What is nice with this, I am running ballistic tuning. Power is diverted from shield, greatly increases range, decreases your shield duration. I have the alloy mag, faster reloads when the magazine is empty. Tilting at windmills, blocking damage from your shield. Increases movement speed while shielding. Unrelenting. Unrelenting is key with this weapon. Rapidly defeating targets triggers health regeneration. Guardians and powerful combatants count as more than one kill. So while you are running around with your glaive and taking out enemies left and right, you are triggering your health regeneration. And what this is adding to is our survivability for this build. And we want to spam these abilities and stay up longer and survive and be that key player. Origin trait Psychohack. Sustained damage from this weapon lowers the target's damage output for a short duration. And for my heavy slot, I'm running, of course, Sleeper Simulant. Sleeper Simulant is a high damage linear fusion rifle. I like to use this against bosses especially. I am working on my catalyst for Sleeper Simulant. You gotta get 300 kills with the Sleeper Simulant. I'm almost there, working on it. And let's go through the armor pieces and the helmet. I'm running a resilience mod. Now if you remember guys, in season 17 we got a buff to resilience. With 100 resilience in your build, you're getting a 40% damage reduction. This is key in survivability. Next is Ashes Assets. Gain bonus super energy on our grenades. Next, linear fusion rifle. Ammo finder. I like to use this. This comes in handy when I'm trying to find ammo for my Sleeper Simulant. Very, very nice. Next, Well of Life. Well of Life is a mod that helps in our survivability and our regeneration. By picking up a solar elemental well, it increases our regeneration for a short time. The exotic of choice that I like to use in this build are the Ashen Wakes with the perk Bring the Heat. You have improved fusion grenades. What this is and what they're saying with improved fusion grenades is these grenades detonate upon impact instead of having that little delayed effect without using this. I am running a resilience mod and an anti-barrier pulse rifle mod. This comes from the seasonal artifact. Pulse rifles you're wielding fire shield piercing rounds and stun barrier champions. This is very useful when you're running your Nightfalls or your in-game PvE content. Impact induction. Causing damage with a melee attack reduces your grenade cooldown. And next, Well of Ordnance. Picking up a solar elemental well grants you additional grenade energy. So what my build is focused on is the more elemental wells you get, the more we're able to get those abilities up and ready to go. And in the chest piece, I like to run a resilience mod. And of course, also out of the season artifact is the Armor of the Dying Star. It reduces incoming solar and void damage. I like to pair that with a concussive dampener. It reduces incoming area effect damage from combatants. So these two paired together are very nice in the duality dungeon if you're running for, let's say, a new purpose or the highly sought after Storm Chaser heavy linear fusion rifle. Very key because these enemies are hitting you left and right, and this helps you stay up and keeps you going. Next is the Explosive Well Maker. Rapidly defeating enemies with an explosive damage spawns a solar elemental well. This is extremely useful when we throw our fusion grenades and a mob of enemies and it detonates and takes out 2, 3, 4, if not the whole group, they are going to spawn that solar elemental well for you so we can get those abilities back quicker. We're all about that regeneration, we're all about that surviving, and we're all about that spamming of abilities. And for the boots, I like to run, of course, another resilience mod, Recuperation. Replenish health each time you pick up an orb of power. Next is Innervation. Reduces grenade cooldown each time you pick up an orb of power. So we're looking at getting that health back for even more survivability. And we're looking to get those grenades back too very quickly. And of course with Bountiful Wells. Bountiful Wells is a staple for most of my builds. I like to run this because it allows you to more than one elemental well to drop. So you'll get maybe 2 or 3 to drop. Very useful getting those abilities back. And for the TITANMARK, I like to run, of course, Resilience mod. And we were running Double Bomber, reduce grenade cooldown using your class ability. So with mine, if I do my Rally Barricade, or my Towering Barricade, it reduces the cooldown of my grenades. Comes in handy if I'm right there needing more of that ability, and I pop that barricade, boom, got my grenade back, and we're ready to go. And lastly, Melee Wellmaker. Powered melee combatant final blows spawn elemental wells matching your subclass energy type. So what this is you throw that hammer, you charge melee, bonk, take out a red bar or whomever. This is going to drop you one of those solar elemental wells. Get those abilities back so much quicker. Alright Guardians, that is my Solar Titan build. I hope you enjoyed it. Next up, I have some gameplay footage here toward the end of the video. I hope you stick around and watch that, see the build in action. Please send me a like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them. I'll even play here Destiny with you. Till next time, Guardians, stay safe.